Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're going to be exploring this text, the American Book of the Dead.
Okay.
And it claims to be a guidebook for consciousness beyond this life.
Mm-hmm.
And it's structured with all these books and sermons
Yeah.
that lay out this map of what to expect after we die.
Right.
I know this can be kind of heavy stuff,
Yeah.
but stick with us
Okay.
because it gets really interesting.
I'm sure.
We're going to be looking at stages of consciousness after death, importance of a guide,
Okay.
techniques for navigating realms, and even ways to potentially achieve liberation.
Ah, that's fascinating.
Yeah.
It's interesting how this book approaches death not as an ending, but like a transition
Right.
to a whole new set of experiences.
Yeah.
It's almost like a travel guide,
Yeah.
but for your consciousness after you die.
Yeah. One of the things that really stood out to me
Okay.
was this unsettling concept of safe spaces after death. The book describes a place called home that turns out to be a source of anxiety and disorientation for the deceased.
Oh, wow.
Why would something that should feel comforting be so unsettling?
That's a good question.
Right.
That's where the idea of shedding false identities comes in.
Oh, okay.
You see, the book argues that we carry all sorts of baggage with us from this life, like identities, beliefs, attachments, and these things can actually become traps in the afterlife.
Oh.
Imagine clinging to the idea of your earthly home, only to find that it's not the haven you expected.
Right.
It's a powerful metaphor for the need to let go
Yeah.
of what we think we know and be open to a new reality.
It's almost like those identities, those attachments, become a kind of prison in the afterlife.
Yeah.
So if we're shedding all that,
Yeah.
what's left? What does the book say about the state of consciousness after death?
Well, it describes a journey
Okay.
called transit,
Right.
where the consciousness goes through these stages. And one of the first challenges is confronting the void or silence. Imagine a state of pure potentiality beyond any concept or thought.
Oh.
The book suggests that this can be terrifying for those who haven't prepared, but it's a necessary step toward liberation.
So it's like being stripped bare, facing the ultimate unknown.
Yeah.
I can see how that could be unsettling,
Yeah.
but also freeing in
Exactly.
a way.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's interesting to think about what this means for us here and now.
Yeah.
Like, what identities or beliefs are we clinging to that might be holding us back from true freedom?
It makes me think about all the roles we play,
Right.
the expectations we carry, the stories we tell ourselves
Yeah.
about who we are.
Uh-huh.
What if letting go of some of that could actually lead to a more fulfilling life?
It's a powerful insight,
Yeah.
and one that the book seems to be pointing toward.
Yeah.
But shedding those layers isn't the end of the journey.
Right?
The book describes all sorts of strange and challenging encounters that the deceased might face.
That's right. You mentioned realms like the realm of the hungry ghosts.
Right.
And the world of the jealous gods. I have to admit, this is where my imagination runs wild.
Yeah.
What are these realms like, and what's the significance of these encounters?
Well, these realms are described in vivid detail,
Yeah.
but the book emphasizes that they're not like literal places.
Hey.
They represent different states of consciousness,
Okay.
internal struggles that we might face after death.
Okay, so it's more about symbolism than actual geography.
Exactly.
Okay.
The hungry ghosts, for example, symbolize insatiable desires that can never be fulfilled.
Okay.
It's a reflection of how our attachments can create suffering,
Yeah.
even in the afterlife.
Wow.
And then you have the jealous gods,
Right.
who represent the struggle for power and control. It's like those parts of ourselves that are always comparing,
Yeah.
competing, trying to grasp for something
Yeah.
that ultimately eludes us.
Right. So these encounters are like facing different aspects of ourselves.
Precisely.
Even our shadow sides we might try to suppress in this life.
Yeah. Navigating these realms, confronting these aspects of ourselves is a crucial part of the journey toward liberation.
It sounds like a pretty intense process.
Yeah.
Is there any help along the way? The book mentions guides, right?
Yes. The book emphasizes the importance of having a guide,
Okay.
a spiritual teacher who can help you navigate these experiences.
Yeah.
But it also warns about the potential for misinterpreting what you encounter,
Okay.
mistaking illusions for reality.
So even in the afterlife, we need to be discerning
Yeah.
to question what we see and hear.
Absolutely.
Wow.
And that's why having a reliable guide is so important.
Right.
They can help you distinguish between what's real
Yeah.
and what's just a projection of your fears or desires.
That's fascinating.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder, are there any signs or signals we should be looking out for when we're
Yeah.
still alive.
Hmm.
Clues that might prepare us for this transition
Okay.
and help us avoid some of those pitfalls.
That's where the book's description of these signs of death comes in. Okay.
It describes these experiences that signal the beginning of the transition.
Okay.
And these signs range from like physical sensations,
Okay.
like coldness and shaking, to more subtle shifts in consciousness.
So it's not just about the physical body shutting down.
Right.
There's a psychological and spiritual dimension to it as well.
Absolutely.
Ow.
The book emphasizes that recognizing and acknowledging these signs is crucial.
Mm-hmm.
It's like waking up from a dream,
Right.
becoming aware that you're transitioning to a new state of being.
I can see how that would be empowering, even in the face of something as daunting as death.
Yeah.
But the book goes beyond simply recognizing these signs, right?
Yeah.
It actually offers guidance on how to navigate those initial experiences after death.
Exactly. It provides specific instructions,
Okay.
almost like a step-by-step manual
Wow.
for what to do and what to expect.
Okay.
It even talks about reciting the signs of death,
Okay.
like either by yourself or with a guide.
As a way of consciously participating in the transition.
It's like taking control of the process
Right.
rather than being swept along by it.
Exactly.
But death is often accompanied by these intense emotions,
Yeah.
like grief and fear and anger.
Right.
How does the book address those?
The book stresses the importance of releasing those emotions,
Okay.
not clinging to them.
Okay.
It describes a sequence where the deceased experiences and releases these emotions in the same order they were adopted in life.
Wow.
So it's like acknowledging and processing those feelings as a way of purifying the consciousness.
It's almost like purging yourself of all that emotional weight,
Yeah.
clearing the path for a fresh start.
Right.
Does the book offer any specific techniques for managing those emotions?
Well, it emphasizes practices like visualization and meditation techniques that can help maintain clarity
Right.
and resist these negative influences.
Okay.
The book suggests that the more we cultivate these practices in this life, the better prepared we'll be to handle the challenges of the afterlife.
So it's not just about what happens after we die.
Right.
It's about how we live our lives now,
Yeah.
about cultivating qualities and practices that will serve us
Exactly.
in that next stage of existence.
It's about training the consciousness.
Yeah.
Expanding awareness beyond the limitations of the physical world.
It's like packing the right supplies for a long journey.
Right.
We wouldn't set off on a trek through the wilderness without proper gear.
Yeah.
So why not prepare for this ultimate journey as well?
That's a great analogy.
Right.
But even with the best preparation,
Mm-hmm.
there will still be challenges.
Right.
And the book doesn't shy away from describing those potential pitfalls.
Right. You mentioned the danger of misinterpreting what we encounter.
Yeah.
Clinging to familiar concepts that might lead us astray.
Exactly. And it's not just about external illusions.
Right.
The book warns about the dangers of internal attachments,
Okay.
those desires and aversions that can create suffering, even in the afterlife.
It's like those cravings and fears that drive us in this life,
Yeah.
but magnified in the afterlife.
Precisely.
Right.
And the book emphasizes that recognizing and releasing those attachments is crucial for achieving true liberation.
Okay.
It's about moving beyond those limiting patterns
Yeah.
and embracing a state of freedom and clarity.
But how do we actually do that?
Yeah.
The book mentions 5 methods for closing the womb door
Right.
as techniques for avoiding unwanted rebirths.
Yeah.
Can you explain those a bit more?
These methods are essentially practices
Right.
for detaching from the attractions of the world,
Okay.
recognizing the illusory nature of experiences, and for cultivating a state of inner peace
Right.
that transcends those external influences.
So it's not about literally closing a physical door.
Right.
It's more about shifting our perspective, our understanding of reality itself.
Exactly. It's about recognizing the impermanence of all things, the fleeting nature of desires and aversions.
Right.
It's about cultivating a state of awareness
Yeah.
that allows us to see through those illusions
Right.
and make conscious choices.
It makes you think about the choices we make in this life.
Yeah.
The things we cling to, the fears that drive us.
Right.
What if we could start practicing those methods now?
Yeah.
Not just for the afterlife, but for a more fulfilling life.
That's a powerful insight.
Yeah.
And it's something that the book seems to be pointing toward.
Yeah.
The practices it describes aren't just for the afterlife.
Yeah.
They're tools for living a more conscious, meaningful life
Right.
in the present moment.
It's like those skills we learn that have multiple applications.
Right.
We might learn to swim for safety, but then discover the joy of exploring the ocean depths. In the same way, these methods for navigating the afterlife could also help us navigate
Yeah.
the complexities of our own minds and emotions.
That's a beautiful way to put it.
Yeah.
And it speaks to the transformative potential of these teachings.
Yeah.
They're not just about death and dying. Right.
They're about awakening to a deeper understanding of ourselves
Mhm.
and the nature of reality.
Right. But let's be honest. Not everyone is on the fast track to liberation.
Right.
What about those who haven't mastered these practices, who haven't shed all their attachments?
Yeah.
What does the book say about their experience in the afterlife?
Well, the book acknowledges that the afterlife can be challenging
Okay.
for those who are unprepared,
Right.
who are still clinging to old patterns and beliefs.
Okay.
It describes the potential for being swept away by fear and confusion,
Right.
for being drawn into realms that reflect those unresolved issues.
It's like those nightmares where you're running but can't escape.
Yeah.
Reliving the same anxieties over and over.
That's a powerful image.
Right.
And the book suggests that those experiences,
Yeah.
while difficult,
Mm-hmm.
can ultimately serve as opportunities
Great.
for learning and growth.
Okay.
Even if we stumble or fall along the way,
Yeah.
there's always the potential to course correct.
Right. To learn from our mistakes
Hmm.
and to continue evolving.
So even if we don't achieve immediate liberation,
Right.
there's hope for a more fulfilling and purposeful existence,
Yeah.
even in the cycle of rebirth.
That seems to be the message. Yes.
Okay.
The book presents rebirth not as a punishment,
Okay.
but as a natural process of growth and evolution.
Right.
And it suggests that the choices we make in this life,
Mm-hmm.
the intentions we cultivate,
Yeah.
can influence the quality of our future rebirths.
It's a powerful reminder that we're not just passive passengers in this journey.
Right.
We have the power to shape our destiny,
Exactly.
both in this life and in the lives to come.
Absolutely. And it's that sense of agency, that
Yeah.
potential for transformation that makes this book so compelling.
Right.
It's not just a morbid fascination with death.
Right.
It's an invitation to live more consciously, more intentionally,
Yeah.
and to embrace the full spectrum of human experience.
It's amazing how this American Book of the Dead reframes our whole understanding of life and death.
Yeah.
It's not just about what happens after we die, but how that knowledge
Right.
can transform how we live now.
What's striking is how the book emphasizes the interconnectedness of everything.
Right.
It's not just that our consciousness survives death,
Yeah.
but that our actions, our thoughts,
Right.
even our being, has this ripple effect
Wow.
that extends beyond our individual lives.
So it's like we're all part of this vast web,
Yeah.
and our actions create vibrations that kind of reverberate throughout.
It's a beautiful way to put it.
Yeah.
And it challenges us to really consider the consequences of our choices.
Right.
If every action, every thought has repercussions,
Yeah.
then acting with awareness and compassion and responsibility becomes crucial.
It's like that concept of karma,
Right.
but not in a punitive sense.
Yeah.
More like a natural law of cause and effect.
Precisely. It's not about judgment, but about understanding
Right.
the interconnectedness of reality. Mm-hmm.
What you put out into the world
Yeah.
influences the world you experience.
Yeah. That makes sense. But how do we practically apply this
Yeah.
to our daily lives? It's easy to get lost in these grand cosmic ideas.
Yeah.
But what does it mean for how we interact with others or
Correct.
make decisions or face our own challenges?
One key takeaway is mindfulness.
Okay.
Being present in each moment, aware of our thoughts and actions.
Yeah.
The more we cultivate this awareness,
Mm-hmm.
the less we're driven by these unconscious habits,
Right.
these reactive patterns.
So it's about making conscious choices
Yeah.
rather than simply reacting to whatever life throws at us.
Right.
Almost like we become active participants
Exactly.
in shaping our reality.
And this intentionality extends to how we treat others.
Okay.
If we truly grasp the interconnectedness of all beings,
Yeah.
compassion and kindness and understanding
Right.
become more than just moral ideals.
Mm-hmm.
They become essential aspects of navigating reality.
That sounds like a profound shift in perspective. It is. Seeing our actions not just as isolated events, but as threads woven into this larger tapestry.
Yeah. And woven into that tapestry are moments where we inevitably make mistakes.
Right.
We're human after all.
Yeah.
Bound to act out of ignorance or fear.
Right. Does the book offer any guidance
Yeah.
on dealing with those moments?
That's a great question because It's easy to get caught up in self-criticism.
Right.
The book emphasizes forgiveness,
Okay.
both of ourselves and others.
Right.
It acknowledges that we're all on this journey
Mm.
of growth and evolution,
Yeah.
and mistakes are inevitable.
Right.
But it also highlights the importance of learning from those mistakes,
Right.
using them as opportunities for growth.
So it's not about dwelling on the past, but about integrating those experiences.
Exact.
And moving forward
Yeah.
with greater wisdom and compassion.
Precisely this process of integration and transformation continues even after death, as the book describes.
Okay.
The afterlife isn't this static state.
Of reward or punishment.
Okay.
It's a dynamic process of growth.
That's a hopeful perspective.
It is.
It means that even if we don't get everything right in this life,
Yeah,
there's still an opportunity for learning and growth beyond the physical realm.
absolutely. And it brings us back to that fundamental question the book poses. If all reality is ultimately the void,
Right.
what does that mean for our actions
Yeah.
in the present moment?
It's a paradox.
What?
If it's all an illusion, why does anything matter?
Perhaps it's precisely because it's all an illusion
Okay.
that our choices matter even more.
Okay.
We're not just playing these predetermined roles.
Mhm.
We're actively participating in the creation of reality.
Wow.
Every thought, every action
Yeah.
contributes to the tapestry of existence.
That's profound. So it's not about escaping the illusion,
Right.
but engaging with it consciously,
Yeah.
creating a reality that aligns with our values.
Beautifully put.
Yeah.
And that's the essence of the American Book of the Dead. It challenges us to question our assumptions,
Yeah.
expand our awareness, and live with intention,
Right.
not just in this life, but in all the lives that may follow.
This deep dive has given me so much to think about.
Yeah, me too.
As we wrap up our exploration of this book, what's one thing you hope our listeners take away from this?
If I had to choose just one thing,
Okay.
it would be this. You are not just a body,
Yeah.
a mind, a collection of experiences.
Mm.
You are a being of infinite potential,
Wow.
capable of transcending limitations
Right.
and realizing your true nature.
What an inspiring thought to end on.
Yeah.
And to our listeners, thank you for joining us on this journey
Yes.
into the unknown. We encourage you to continue exploring these ideas,
Yeah.
to question, to ponder, and to discover for yourselves
Yes.
the truths that resonate most deeply within you.
Absolutely.
Until next time, keep diving deep.